Let's go back to something a little bit more archaic, if you will. A little Draw My Life, Samantha edition 2018. Basically, where I talk about the things that I want you to know about me up until now. So it all started in good old New Jersey, the only state that looks like an old man in my eyes. True Jerseyans call New Jersey the Garden State. And I was born in Hamilton Township. It's really close to Trenton when you think about it. Not a lot of people know where Hamilton is, unless you say it's right next door to Trenton. To start with my childhood, we lived on a pretty nice strip of my neighborhood because it was such a multicultural area, but around that, it was not the best place. Besides that, I still remember my address, 452 Atlantic Avenue, only because it rhymed. And right next door, I had my cousins and a very mean old lady that really hated it when we were around her house. It wasn't until later that I just realized that she was just racist. But I digress. I was born on a Tuesday, October 29th, 1996. I actually share a birthday with my grandmother, only because my mom said that I was giving her way too much pain when she was pregnant with me. My actual due date was on November 11th, but I'm kind of still salty about the fact that my mom didn't give birth to me on Halloween, which would have been awesome, but she would have thought I was a demon child. In the beginning, my family consisted of my mother, my father, me, and my brother. So it was only 4 of us. And then when I was 6, my mother and father got divorced. And then my stepdad, Scott, came into the picture. Then on, it's just been the 4 of us, and also his son, Jared. So I guess you could say I also have a stepbrother. I would say I spent an equal amount of time indoors and outdoors, mostly riding bike, playing on the grass, and just playing outside with my cousins and my brother. But when I was indoors, I would often be reading or playing games, and it wasn't until me and my brother got our first console game, the PS1 or PlayStation 1, that being a hermit really blossomed for me. The games that we would play together were mostly Crash. My favorite game was Crash Tag Team Racing. Spyro, Mario, OG Mario Kart, like that was childhood right there. Playing games with my brother and really just discovering that I loved games and movies and animation, and that just blossomed into what my favorite things and hobbies are today. My 2 favorite handheld consoles to play was my red Game Boy Advance, and my other was the DS Lite that my father gifted to me for my birthday, and to this day I still cry that I had lost it. So that was most of my childhood, and really the other major things that went on about my life was my school life. My mom was always on about me about getting good grades in classes. And I understand where she comes from, given that she was originally from a third world country, Haiti, and you couldn't get anywhere unless you had good grades or had a good job. I was always rewarded with ice cream or a treat if I did well in school, up until the point that she didn't care anymore because I always made decent grades. And honestly, that's what I just kept doing up until high school, where thankfully I was awarded every year with a Palmetto Medal of Academic Standing and eventually graduated as an honors graduate with a 4.0. It is nothing compared to being a distinguished honors where apparently they get roses. We don't. And to be honest, I don't remember much of my school years because it just seemed to fly by. It was just what it was, school. I realize now I just probably had it easy. Of course, that is until I entered college. I wanted to start my college years in university, mainly because I always thought of the dream of entering as a freshman and enjoying the first year or two with new friends and new experiences and just being away from home finally. But that's not what happened. I ended up going to a tech school for 2 years, and it was accelerated learning that I had to go through, meaning that a semester long was condensed down to 7 weeks. It was cheaper, but it was what I had to do to basically get by and not have to worry about mountains of loans that I know that a lot of other students go through. And then from there, I just went to USC to continue my junior and senior year. So when the day came, I excitedly packed up my car and drove an hour and a half from Somerville, South Carolina to Columbia, where I started my junior year. And then I entered my first year in 2017, and it was pretty much what I thought it would be for my first year, meeting new people, being surrounded by a different environment in a city with my own apartment, and meeting some cool people. And it was also very hard because I just realized how alone I was, and how at the same time knowing people that I just felt so separated. And it was genuinely very hard. But in the end, I've managed to meet some really cool people that I would say that are my friends, and also some forgetful ones. Given that I am staying in a city alone with no family around, I also had to take up the mantle of getting a job, and it's not easy balancing work and schoolwork at the same time, even though my mom loves to remind me that she was able to do it when she first moved to America. Fast forwarding now that I'm a senior and classes end on the 7th of December of this year, I'm already stressed out with work and knowing when things are due and just getting schoolwork done. Like, man, it's really hard. But I guess that's also to be expected. I guess currently on my mind, thinking of today, what really stresses me out is finding a job, internship, how am I going to support myself, where am I going to be 5 years from now? I don't know, but there's still a whole lot left on my plate that I have to deal with before I even get there, and the moment when I do get there. But all I can say, 2019, bring it on. I'm not ready for you. Come at me, bro.